Kia ora and welcome to Tarmac. I am Dave.
And I'm Matthew, and pinch me because I must be dreaming. Actually, never mind. Because this is the BYD or Build Your Dreams ATTO 3.
That's right, it's an electric SUV that's basically full of attitude. Do you get it? Come, let's take a look at this. Okay, so from many Western civilizations' point of view, BYD as a car brand has basically come from nowhere. And I won't get into the BYD side of things or the Build Your Dreams thing that it's all about, because that's basically been done to death if you have known about this vehicle. But essentially, the brand itself was started by a guy called Wang Chanfu, who is essentially an orphan and now a multi-billionaire. So really, if you've got the dreamy side of things, he's gone from nothing to a lot of money. And the other thing is they are now producing around about 2 million vehicles per year. So if it's not on your radar, this vehicle sort of should be, or this brand should be. Looking around the front of it, it's very sleek, very, very modern. And in terms of design, it's supposed to look like a dragon, although there is no fire coming out the front, and really you don't want fires coming out of an electric vehicle anyway. Sleek LED headlights here, very slight, very tight nose down here, and also some sort of filled out vents around here that obviously not venting because there's no engine behind. We'll get to the engine stuff in a moment. But look at it, the entire car's around about a CD has got around about a 0.29, so very, very sleek and very, very aerodynamic. But I reckon it's good. It's a good looking vehicle and there's a lot in store. I am Batman. Actually, his worst impression. Actually, you are Batman. Look at these 18-inch Atlas Batman tires. So don't know where they come from, but they are shrouded in black and therefore, you know, masked. And anyway, moving on, these wheels are 18-inch and very, very sleek again. So very aerodynamic. So wanted to point them out first. But I am Batman. Let's look further on. Now, dimensionally, this vehicle would sit into the sort of compact SUV size, with a length of being 4.45 meters, a height of being 1.6, and basically a width of around about 1.8. So it will fit very well in your garage and also fits very well around the city. There are some little things to point out, like this BYD design badging, you know, some slightly elevated ride heights here. Sort of, I would have thought these would have been sort of integrated, but they're not. They're proper door handles, which is interesting. And also this back panel here, which I think is pretty much stolen from the Kia Carnival, or I think it might be a Volkswagen product anyway. But, you know, overall, it's a nice sleek design, nice long spoiler back here. But, you know, not so sure about the dragon thing, but it's still pretty good. The rear is actually very aerodynamic. As you see, there's big sort of areas of non-filled in area stuff. And again, vents are very filled in and the underbody is very sleek, so which is good from there. Thing I want to point out is obviously your Build Your Dreams side of things here. Also this light bar, it comes all the way across to offer it plenty of width, which is again nice considering it is not massively sized, but still they're making the most of it. The other thing is when you open up the boot here, you get to see 440 litres of absolute cavernous luggage space. So you really can put every stuff and bit of stuff in there. And also it's low or multi-tiered, so you can actually drop stuff down in here. And I think it's called the apple test. So if you were parked on a slant and your groceries had apples in them, they wouldn't roll out when coming out. Not bad from there. The other fact is, because this is a powered tailgate, brings me on to the fact that we should have a look at what's powering this. Now this charging point here actually goes straight through to the 60 kilowatt lithium iron phosphate blade battery that's powering this machine, and it really does charge up very quickly. I'll see if I can show you the numbers here. But it also has VTL, which means that you can do this cunning little car. So with a VTL system, you can basically just plug in this thing here and use your appliance, or basically you can charge any appliance from there up to 3.3 kilowatts. So you can effectively look up your favorite website, which just happens to be Tarmac Life, obviously, and work on your car bonnet. And while you're there, you can actually check what's under the bonnet. Space is essentially what you've got under here, but oddly no frunk, so no additional sort of storage space. But what it does have is a front wheel drive motor which gives you 150 kilowatts of power and 310 newton meters of torque, which is actually more than enough to propel this compact SUV along the road. And actually I think it's good for around about 420 kilometers of full charge on a full charge. We actually, when we've plugged it in or fully charged it, recognize that it has about 460, so it really does vary on how heavy your right foot is. Speaking of heavy right foot, Matthew's inside and he'll show you what's going on with that.
It's funny Dave should bring up my right foot because it's full of bones. Well, unlike this door, which is not full of bones but more styled to look like that. So you've got this big armrest here, which is actually meant to look like a big bone of your body. The other unique thing about this door is the handle up here. And well, that's got sort of a funny thing on the top, which is actually the handle, and you've got the speaker underneath there. And then the other unique thing about the door is these things, and they are actually meant to resemble sinuses. Now, you can also play your favorite rock songs on them, just like this. That's a very poor impression of Smoke on the Water. But anyway, can your car do that? And it seems strange that I, pointed out the door specifically, but actually the whole interior is sort of gym, body, and an active lifestyle sort of themed. And I'll start off with the dashboard because firstly, you've got this sort of stretched wetsuit-like material over here, and this is actually made to resemble skin, and you can see the markings in there like it's some sort of stretched muscle. You've got the air vents here and in the sides, and they're meant to resemble like dumbbell sort of things. You've got that there. You've got this gear gator as well, which is also meant to resemble like some sort of exercise of dumbbell sort of thing. You see, I don't go to the gym that much, but anyway, what I can tell you is that this armrest is meant to look like a treadmill. You can see the sort of grooves in there, and well, groovy is sort of how you describe this cabin, to be honest. I mean, just look at the shape of the dashboard there. Everything sort of has a really dramatic sort of movement and shape to it. It's very unique, and that's pretty much what I can tell you, is that it will make you have an opinion about it, which is good in this sort of world where a lot of cars, are possible. Another unique thing about this car is these seats, and they're meant to resemble like gaming sort of chairs. So you'll see they have an integrated headrest there. There's some nice side bolstering and a very supportive sort of shape for your back and your lumbar support. Speaking of things that are supportive, well, there's plenty of systems in the infotainment screen. So let's take a look at that. Now this 12-point-something-inch infotainment screen, well, the biggest talking point about this, as you would have probably seen on the internet, is the fact that you can actually change the orientation by simply pressing this icon here, and it'll go from landscape into portrait in just a couple of seconds. Look at that. How easy is that? Speaking of easy, well, it's really built to mimic the user interface you have with your phone. So you take a look at the home screen here. It's got all your different audio inputs, and you can swipe through for the apps there. Swipe down there and you have a whole bunch of different settings like the brightness, the sound, the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all of that stuff. And similarly, you can press the home button there, back button, and to turn it on or off. So there's a lot of stuff that's really presented on this home screen. Though if you do want to customize it, well, you just press that icon there that shows a BYD ATTO 3.
All-terrain mode.
And you go into these screens. So this talks about the different things you can customize with your car. So right now we are in the DI Link system, which has got all your different connectivity settings and the various apps and things that you can manage as well. The next one is DI Pilot, which talks about all your different safety settings. So you've got lane support system, your assist, your safety, and then parking assist. Then you click through the new energy. This tells you your battery usage, efficiency and percentage and stuff like that. And then next, vehicle settings, and this allows you to change a lot of stuff about the car. So the steering, brake pedal regen, lighting, rear view mirrors, AC, and so on. So there's really a lot of stuff to go through on this screen here. The last thing is vehicle health, and that talks about your service intervals and maintenance and various information about the car as well. However, the other really noteworthy thing about this screen is actually if you press that AC fan icon over there and you go into this air conditioning screen, the thing that says air purification, that actually tells you how many sort of particles are in the outside environment and how many are in the inside. And as you can see there, the system is actively filtering through to get you all the clean air and the virus and bacteria free air into the cabin. And if you are worried that things are getting a bit toxic in here, you can simply press quick purification, and that sort of just inputs a whole lot of ozone and clean air particles into the cabin as well. So quite smart from that sense too. The other thing about this screen, as you've seen by now, there's many talking points, is actually the vehicle image. So you click on that and you can go through the different views that the cameras of the car can offer you. So you click on that, you can see the car in its sort of surroundings, and then if you click on that, you can see a transparent view down to the road below you. All of these can be changed, by the way, so you can click on there and have a look around the environment around your car. And look at that, it's a BYD in the color of the car we have. So they have thought about all those little things too. It really is full-on technology in the middle here. And speaking of technology, well, there's some going on in front of you too. So let's take a look at that. This little screen in front of you is quite small, admittedly, but it is pretty impressive in terms of what it displays. So on the left side, you have your kilowatts or your power, you have your speed in the middle, and then on the right side, you have the range there along with the battery percentage. And it sort of tells you as well what driving mode you're in, as well as the gear and the seat belts and stuff like that. And you can actually flick through using this button here on the steering wheel to see what sort of display you want in the middle there. So there is a bit of customization available as well. Speaking of the steering wheel, it's a nice sort of blue, I'm not sure if this is leather, but it's wrapped in something quite soft, stitched nicely as well, and it's got a flat bottom for a little bit of a sporty bend too. There's also a BYD logo there, and it's very funky, just like the rest of this car is. Now, I've shown you how funky and how unique the inside is, and Dave showed you the dragon style of the outside as well. But how do those things combine on the road? Well, I guess the thing is to take it for a drive.
Oh, there you are. I love it. I love this screen. Honestly, you can just play with this sort of landscape or portrait style just to suit, you know, when you want to look at something and you don't know which way up to go, or, you know, anyway, that's probably me. Great screen, great fun. And actually the whole of this BYD is just unusual, but it all seems to sort of work. It's, you know, dragon meets gym meets body parts. I don't know. It sounds like some strange Squid Game thing going on.
It's definitely, when you look at the things on paper, it should have a very unique appeal, I think, for sure. But when you put the car together, actually, it just sort of works. And you know, everything seems though unusual in pieces. It comes together well.
It really does. I mean, we could have probably done a whole thing just about the screen. We could have done a whole thing just about the interior. I mean, trying to cram everything into this small thing is actually really bizarre. But it is quite a small thing, but it is also very, there's so much going on. Like the comfort of these seats is incredible. I mean, I just really need my PlayStation and away I'm gone. It's so good.
You could be on the games, as Dave said before.
Exactly.
And certainly with the screen in front of you, you definitely feel like you want some sort of game world. The amount of stuff it's got in it, the air purification, you know, the rotating, the different customization settings as well. It's just really, it's very much tablet style in that way as well.
Funnily enough, though, with all this gym stuff, I still don't feel the need to go to the gym. Okay, let's get the other stuff out of the way. In terms of visibility, big windscreen, big mirrors, big glass all the way around, and also just this massive sunroof. So really is so much to see all the way around.
Yeah, and they do make a pretty big deal, especially about the size of the sunroof, as it takes up, I think it's something like 70% of the roof's area, so it is really significant in size.
Yeah, and also comfort wise, seat comfort's good. Also road ride comfort's very good as well. It's quite a soft, malleable drive. It's not a race car, so it's not solid in the corners, but it is quite a comfortable ride, especially because you're going to be doing most of your driving, I assume, around the town.
Though admittedly, with those Atlas Batmans on, if you do corner hard, you will probably light up the tires. So, yeah.
I am Batman. Anyway.
Suffer the wrath of Batman.
Yeah, it's no Joker. Anyway. The steering's good. There's a nice feel to it. A nice weight to it as well, which is good. Plenty of electronics going on, so your lane keep assist, your adaptive cruise, your sign recognition. There's lots of stuff going on.
The steering wheel you can have in 2 different configurations. There's this normal one, but you can also have it in a sportier setting, so you get a bit better feel there. Same with the regenerative braking. Again, 2 different levels of that to be had as well.
That's all done down here on the center console. Actually, the center console is worth pointing out because you do have all your stuff to do with your air conditioning and stuff like that. Your volume control for the stereo. There's also your driving modes, which essentially is eco, normal, and sport. I've mostly been in sport, so no surprise there, right? And yeah, like I said, your regen braking and also your park assist, and yeah, it's just a lot going on in this small center console as well.
Even surprisingly, with Dave being in sport mode and both of our heavy right foots, it hasn't been chewing through the range at such a significant rate, which is really surprising. It does tend to still taper out its energy use.
0 to 100 is in around about the sort of 8 to 9 seconds. I'll see if I can confirm that, but it's not bad, and it is instant as well, so you do get a nice bit of thrill. It's not massive though, so again, if you're looking at this as a sports car EV, it's not quite that.
And frankly, in what else it can do, it can seat 4 people, 5 possibly. As a family, has good boot space, a decent amount of range too, and not to forget the screen, the amount of features that offer. So there is still plenty going on with this car, which almost in some ways makes you forget about wanting a sporty drive.
Who are you? All right, so in all honesty, just quietly, I actually didn't want to like this vehicle when I first got it. I mean, it's sort of, being a petrol head, there's a lot of things that it's sort of anti, but the reality is it's actually a really good car. It's not necessarily a dream of mine to drive this car or anything like that, but it really is so priced so well, got so much going on, and it's a talking point that really you could point out different areas of it and keep your guests or your passengers entertained or bored for weeks. It really is that good.
I think, just to echo off what Dave says, the thing that really appeals to me about this car is that it makes people and makes yourself have an opinion about it. It's not just one of those where you're like, yeah, that's all right. You either like it or you don't like it. And I think so far the signs are that we like it. Yeah, we do. Great range, great distance, reasonable drive, and yeah, no bones about it, or slip me some skin, or I don't know. There's so much stuff you could joke about it. From a dad point of view, it's a dad boat dream. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. See you on the next one. See ya.